I apologize to anyone who feels like they got scammed from me, and I genuinely promise that my intentions from the start were pure.
It's Brittany, bitch.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am Jen. This is Fundy Fridays, and here on my channel I talk about different aspects of Christian fundamentalism while doing my makeup. Thank you to everybody who showed so much love in last week's Tammy Faye video. I honestly thought it wasn't going to do very well. I just feel so happy, incredibly touched. My heart is full to bursting with love for you guys. I'm so glad that Tammy has reached a new generation of people, that people are finally appreciating her, and that you guys are all spreading the love, because that was like probably going to be the most positive episode I've ever done, because this week is not positive. So, you know, we got to break it up every now and then with something like that. Today we are covering a very highly requested topic, a highly requested person. Originally, I wasn't going to cover Brittany Dawn. I thought, well, what's she got to do with Christianity? Well, turns out quite a bit. So we're going to be talking about Brittany Dawn. She was a fitness scammer turned evangelical scammer. She is known online for her cringy, too much information posts on social media, her plagiarized TikToks, and her teeth that are whiter than Chip Skylark's. I will let you know towards the end of this video, we are going to be discussing police brutality and animal cruelty. I'm not going to show you anything graphic, but I will tell you all the relevant information, and unfortunately, it is very relevant to the story. So I invite you all to join me here in hell as we discuss Brittany Dawn and her empire of scams, bad behavior, and a tan so dark that it makes Ariana Grande look Irish. But first, here's a word from our sponsor. I am proud to announce that today's sponsor is none other than Hunt a Killer. Hunt a Killer is a murder mystery game subscription box where you can have all the fun of an escape room without people spying on you, and all the fun of a tabletop game without having to know the math, all from the comfort of your couch. Each box comes with a plethora of evidence and props and different little things to help you be fully immersed in the story, as well as do the thing we came to do, which is hunt a killer, right? And although the mysteries in Hunt a Killer are fictional, it's actually really cool that part of the proceeds for every box actually goes to the Cold Case Foundation, an organization that is dedicated to helping solve real-life cold cases. So you get to have fun and you're, helping a good cause. I know I am prone to keeping and using and maybe hoarding all of the props that come with the games. Each mystery has its own little notebook for you to keep track of stuff, but the notebook is themed for the mystery. So this one is Mallory Rock, and it's all about a murder that happened in a coastal lighthouse town. I kept the poster from Curtain Call. I hung it up on my wall. So I'm really excited because this one, little coaster. Yeah. You're coming home with me. While it is fun to play by yourself, I do recommend having a friend help you out, because sometimes all you need is just a fresh pair of eyes to help crack a cipher that you've been staring at all day. And if you get stuck, there are Facebook groups and other things online that will help you solve your mystery. There's also, they include this really cool virtual desktop where you get to email the people that are a part of the case, and it just really makes you feel like you are a part of something. And I'm a huge fan of Hunt a Killer. They've been working with the channel for a while now, and I just think everybody should play it. It is a fun way to spend quality time with loved ones, doing something other than staring at the TV or sitting around commiserating about the state of the world. So if you would like to play Hunt a Killer and get $10 off your purchase, then make sure you go to huntakiller.com/fundy and use my code fundy. Fireworks, mermaids, and the best of the fest. I want to go here. I want to go to this town. Well, apparently people get murdered there, but, looks like fun. So once again, the link is huntakiller.com/fundy. Use my code fundy at checkout to get $10 off your purchase. It's a great deal. They're a great company. I love you guys. This looks like fun. No spoilers in the comments. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Brittany Dawn Nelson is a conservative Christian influencer from Texas, and she has recently gained notoriety for her bad behavior, which includes shooting her dog and other things like financial scams, along with what appears to be a complete random rebranding as an evangelical influencer. And it's important to note that although the name of this channel is Fundy Fridays, I do not consider Brittany Dawn to be a fundamentalist. She is actually a conservative evangelical, and I will dive a little bit more into that later in the video. Brittany has been married twice and has since changed her name several times, so for continuity's sake, I will refer to her as Brittany Dawn. And I'm sure she doesn't mind going by her first name like Madonna or the Unabomber. Brittany Dawn was born March 22nd, 1991, and I'm pretty sure she was born and raised in Texas. The content that Brittany Dawn makes is kind of like a cursed mix between Girl Defined and Mrs. Midwest, and I mean that in every possible way that you think that I mean it. I really don't know much about her childhood or upbringing. Thankfully, many people of my generation have had the worst evidence of our cringe years deleted from MySpace and photo buckets, so I'm assuming that's what happened to Brittany, so she lucked out on that one. Brittany's dad is a pilot, which doesn't actually mean anything. Pilots can be low income, and honestly, a lot of them that work for commercial airlines don't make very much money. I bring this up because this episode's about, privilege and class and influencers and scams, all things that involve money, unfortunately. And I think Wu-Tang said it best. Cash really does rule everything around us. I say all of this to highlight that Brittany certainly never has had to want for anything. She has a very nice house and clothes and the latest Apple technology and a nice clean luxury SUV. But she's also mentioned working jobs before and going to college. So while I will say that Brittany is privileged, it's not like she's never had a job before. She should know better than to be as unprofessional as she has been and ghost clients who paid her hundreds of dollars. More on that later. I know I keep going out of chronological order, but it's called foreshadowing. And while it seems really random to us that she's a Christian, she did mention in one video that she went to a Jesus camp style revival as a teen. She didn't say Jesus camp, I did. And then she mentioned that she fell away from the Lord during college. I know all this because I did watch a lot of Brittany Dawn videos. You're welcome. And she does from time to time talk about her pre-Christian years. In these videos, she mentions having a history of problem drinking and disordered eating, along with an addictive personality. And I would dare to argue that she's probably addicted to attention, although I acknowledge that I might just be projecting here. I would like to point out that sometimes, not always, but most of the time, people who are newly converted to a religion or like Brittany, reverted, they tend to act like zealots. They try to make up for lost time by being the most righteous, the most pompous, and the most extreme with their beliefs. This is all done in an attempt to appeal to and impress hardcore Christians. They are a very tough crowd to please. She went from making sweet and relatable what I eat in a day content.
Now with my 5 top healthy Starbucks drinks, and I'm going to go through them and list them for you all. The first one is my infamous pink drink that a lot of you guys were asking about on my Snapchat the other day when I said I wanted to do a Starbucks video. All this is a unsweetened passion tango tea with coconut milk, no sweetener, easy ice. Make sure you ask for easy ice where they fill it up to the top. And you can add stevia, or you could probably do 1 pump of sugar-free vanilla. I will put the macros on the screen right here, but this is roughly 1.5 grams of fat, 2 grams of carbs, and 1 protein.
2 car vlogs where she's calling Joe Biden satanic.
I do believe, number 4, I do believe that God is allowing these things to happen to perfectly align it for Jesus's return. Number 4, I believe that things are unfolding the way that they are, and I believe that God is allowing things to happen to strategically get everything in line for the return of Jesus.
Brittany Dawn started gaining popularity around the 2011-2012 Instagram boom, and this surge of popularity would later come to bite her in the ass, as she would fly way too close to the sun, promising too many things and giving herself too many projects. In fairness, that is something that I also relate to. Brittany's content from around this time was based predominantly on her fitness journey rather than her spiritual one, going from an attractive skinny brunette to an attractive skinny blonde. I'm kidding, of course. She lost about 40 to 50 pounds, and that is an accomplishment and, good for her. But I just wanted to point out that at no point was she ever unattractive or, God forbid, overweight. And in these before and after photos, you can see her high school sweetheart and future ex-husband, Zach Greason. Side note, apparently she used to post all kinds of content about junk food, and then off camera she would make her boyfriend eat it. And that's not technically bad, but it is weird. And you know how we love weird shit on this channel. Brittany and Zach got married in 2016, and make sure to pay close attention to her wedding photos because she later recreates them with her new husband. But it's not plagiarizing if it's yourself. Just ask John Fogerty. Their wedded bliss was shortly lived, however, and many have noted that Zach hardly ever appeared in Brittany's vlogs, which I say, good for him. I wouldn't want to be associated with her either.
Zach, you're not supposed to be drinking a Rockstar.
You're not supposed to be farting in the car.
Gosh.
Brittany and Zach had a really nasty breakup with insults and accusations being thrown by both parties. Allegations ranged from throwing oatmeal at each other all the way to cheating and domestic violence. And I don't know if any of these claims are true. It's really none of my business, but domestic violence is not something to joke about, so I sincerely hope that everybody is being truthful here. What's even crazier than all of that is how Brittany told us about the breakup. Here she is in a What I Eat in a Day vlog that abruptly goes from protein powder to cheating.
All right, so I am heading to the gym. It's a little late. It's like 7 p.m. now. I've had 3 meals in me. Going to work out, I'm going to use the first form branched chain amino acids, the alpha cree, and I'm going to mix it into my shaker bottle, and off I'll go. God, I'm a mess. I wasn't going to talk about this or film this, but my neck kind of just went downhill, and God. I was on the Stairmaster and doing my warm-up. I didn't even get a workout in, honestly. And I got a DM from a girl that said, hey, your boyfriend's been hitting me up on Instagram today. I just wanted to let you know and give you a heads up. So I asked her to send me screenshots, and she did, and it just kind of proved I don't even know what to say right now. Long story short, apparently he's been talking to a lot of girls for quite some time now, so that is done, because I already know that the comments are gonna come in and people have already been blowing my DMs up tonight. I don't know if something was posted elsewhere and everyone's finding out about it, but I just wanted to address it while I'm crying and packing his crap up. Whew, I was gonna film the outro for this video tomorrow once this all happened, because I was like, I don't want to be on camera crying. I don't want to show this crappy night. But you know what? Part of being an influencer, and I will preach this till the end, is showing up when you don't want to and showing people your good and your bad moments. And God, that sucks.
Wow, that sure was awkward and jarring. How's everybody holding up? I know personally I got whiplash the first time I saw it, so I will be suing. Allegedly, it gets even worse than that. There are rumors that personally I haven't been able to confirm, but everyone's saying this, that Zach was actually sending dick pics to random girls and that Brittany had emotionally cheated with somebody else. So I really don't care. They both sound like insufferable assholes. So I hope we let their failures be a lesson to all of us about our digital footprints. Whatever you post online is there forever, even if you delete it. There's always the Wayback Machine, and of course snarkers who screenshot everything. Nothing is ever lost on the internet, so please think twice about what you post. But things actually got worse for Brittany, if you can imagine. She actually scammed a bunch of women out of thousands of dollars by selling them custom fitness plans that were actually cookie cutter. And then she refused to refund them, so.
Hello YouTube, and welcome back to my channel.
Body goals, Fitspo everywhere you look.
Cardio should never feel like you're slaving away at something.
Melina Brunson found hope and inspiration in social media influencer Brittany Dawn Fitness.
I was looking for some sort of training, some sort of fitness program. Eventually I followed her, so I went ahead and purchased one of her programs.
Brittany Dawn has some 550,000 followers on Instagram, another 290,000 on YouTube.
I have such a heart for what I do and for being in this industry. Being a fitness influencer is my full-time job.
Many of those followers, women who have turned to Brittany Dawn to get their dream bodies, success photos, transformations showcasing the results posted online. Brunson paid $250 for a 60-day plan of workouts, a personalized nutrition plan, and access to Dawn by phone. But she says while she put in the work, Dawn did not.
We never got anything back other than just, oh girl, you're doing so great. But I'm like, how am I doing great? Because I'm not losing weight and inches aren't going anywhere.
And she is not alone. There are nearly 4,000 members of a Facebook group, Brittany Dawn Fitness Complaints.
What does happen a lot with this sort of thing is this issue of scale and not knowing how to deal with your own popularity. A lot of people just don't buy it because she spent months, in some cases years, ignoring customers who had reached out to her.
Some women unhappy with her program, posting screenshots of emails from Brittany Dawn, some showing refunds. The amounts varying from $50 to full refunds if they sign an NDA, but many saying they never heard from her at all.
I jumped into an industry that had no instruction manual. I'm basically going through uncharted territory, and I'm doing the best that I can to the best of my ability. I'm using this as a tool to learn and to grow as a professional and to move forward.
Brittany Dawn posting an apology on her YouTube channel.
I make mistakes, and that's what this video is here to do, to address it, to say that I am sorry.
But some of her customers saying that apology just isn't enough.
Just overall, it's leaving a really sour taste in my mouth.
And this is a reminder, as popular and successful as these influencer programs can seem, you need to take a minute to find out what's real life versus what's Instagram. Ask questions before you fork over that hard-earned cash. Asking a couple of questions will give you a chance to see their response and how quickly they'll respond. A lot of that will sort of weed itself out.
After this scandal, the first iteration of Brittany's personality died, and like a phoenix from the ashes, a new evangelical Brittany emerged. But not before releasing her now deleted half-ass apology video.
There's some things on the surface that have come to fruition that need to be addressed, and so I'm here to do that, and I'm here to put everything to rest once and for all. I am just here with my heart on my sleeve, and I'm here to put everything, like I said, to rest once and for all. I apologize to anyone who feels like they got scammed from me.
I'm sorry you felt scammed. She's not even trying.
I am so sorry from the bottom of my heart, but know that I am human, and along with that, I have an incredibly big heart for people and a passion for what I do. When I was offered the opportunity to help women all around the world, I jumped into this head first to something that at that time hadn't been quite tapped into yet.
Okay, I get it. You're trying to seem authentic and candid by doing the video this way, but for the love of God, you need to turn your dryer off before you film. I can literally hear the zippers smacking against the drum very clearly.
The only reason that I bring this up is to make a point that, in fact, does show that I, as a business owner, am doing things to the best of my ability to resolve any issues that may arise.
Jesus Christ, is the microphone inside the dryer?
As an influencer, I understand that I have the full responsibility to show up even through the threats and the harassment. I would please ask that all death threats and all other threats are once and for all put to an end. I would also ask for you to please leave my family and my friends alone.
Okay, that I do agree with. As much as you hate somebody, it is not okay to harass them. And seriously, what is up with the death threats? If I catch any of you Genonites out there pulling shit like this, I'm revoking your baptism and you're excommunicated from the church.
Again, I am sincerely sorry for any harm that I've caused anyone, and I hope that I can do what it takes to make things right.
Brittany, honey, they don't want an apology. They want their money back. If you don't have the money, like you spent it or something already, you just need to be honest with them. You know what? That's actually never been her strong suit, so what am I even talking about? All of this stuff happened in early 2019, and afterward, Brittany took a break from social media to date a bunch of dudes and start a bunch of failed businesses, like a tanning oil company and like a dropship company. I know she still sells Lightroom presets for $12 on her website. She also started going through some superficial changes as well, such as her, quote, modesty journey, which in my opinion is not very modest at all. Oh, I get it now. These are videos designed to show off your ass. Okay, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But when Jesus said, "I thirst," I don't think he was talking about this.
I want to be like so low key with my personal life, and that's just something that I'm becoming so protective of. I joked and I told my sister the other day, I was like, you know, I'm going to be so low key that, you know, in a few years, one day, if I do have a significant other in my life that's on a more serious note, I'm just gonna like pop up engaged one day and no one's gonna even know that I've been dating. Like, that's the level of low key I kind of want to be on, and it feels really good. So
I want to be married so bad, and you want to know why? You want to know why I want to be married? I'll tell you why I want to be married. I want to have sex.
And I want to add that it is totally fine and very human and very normal to change your mind about things. It's just, well, the optics are bad. There's just no way around it. If you condemn people for doing one thing that you used to do a year ago, it just makes you seem like a poser. Now that Brittany's an evangelical, she has some very strong feelings about demons and witchcraft, and pretty much anything that threatens her status as a very sincere and not at all performative Christian. Okay, so you believe in demons, but not ghosts. You sure are better than everybody else. I mean, I don't believe in either of those things either, but primarily because I don't think that any of us are important enough to be possessed by demons or have our houses haunted.
But everyone's always like, oh, it was a colonial woman. That woman had a maid. Yeah. She didn't have a tortured life.
Right.
Besides, demons are too busy anyway. They have overtime shifts down at the Ouija board factory, and not to mention that most of them are on call for Bloody Mary and Candyman duty. They just don't have enough time in their day to be possessing astrologists and yoga instructors.
The Lord started revealing to me just how satanic the music industry actually is. Hosea 4:6 says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge." I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again. The music industry is a dark place, and these rappers who are put on a pedestal by society are literally glorifying Satan with the way that they perform, the songs that they sing, and the lives that they live. And let's not forget the one time that Travis Scott stopped an entire show because someone stole his shoe while he was crowd surfing. And yet, the show must go on while people are dying within feet of him. If that doesn't show you how demonic this music truly is, then I'm at a loss for what will. And it's not just Travis Scott, it's a lot of them. Lyrics that sing about sex and drugs and money and women and everything else that goes against God's word. It's so obvious, and yet so many people are still willingly choosing to turn away from Jesus. Isaiah 5:20 warns us, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil." And listening to the stories and the encounters that people had at this Travis Scott concert are literally gut-wrenching as a Christian. This is not something to be taken lightly. Hell is a real place. It's not something that you dress up for as Halloween or just dabble with on occasion. Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So many people in our society believe in zodiac signs and follow them and follow astrology, believing that these energies have such an impact on your life. So then why are more people not waking up to see the demonic activity and satanic symbolism in front of them in the music industry? Make it make sense for me. One of my favorite scriptures, Ephesians 5:11 says, "Take no part in unfruitful works, but instead expose them." It becomes more obvious every day to more people that there are unfruitful things happening in this world, that there are dark, demonic agenda things happening in this world, in the music industry. And in the midst of the chaos, you guys, you have to lock your eyes on Jesus. Look to Jesus. He is our only hope in this lost and broken world.
Nope. Okay. Yep. We're not going to do this. I am not going to stand by while evangelicals turn a horrible tragedy and make it about themselves. Satan didn't cause any of those people to die. The tickets were greedily oversold, and Travis Scott already has a history of inciting aggression to his crowds. So while I do believe that he should be absolutely held accountable for what happened that night, I mean, he literally saw a ambulance drive through his crowd and continued to perform, but Satan had nothing to do with that. Like, what a cop-out. And most importantly, what is wrong with you? Why would you even say that? Besides, with all this railing against the new age that Brittany does, she really ought to check herself. If you go deep enough into the fundamentalism side of Christianity, a bunch of shit that she likes to do is already considered demonic. Tattoos, enneagrams, Hillsong, and therapy are all considered unbiblical and demonic in certain parts of Christianity. So it's really funny that she thinks that she gets to determine how things go. And it's even funnier that in one clip she says, "I have the gift of discernment." Discern this, bitch. But as I stated earlier, Brittany is not a traditional fundamentalist. She's an evangelical. Evangelical used to just mean all Christians because it means anybody who evangelizes. But now it's a dog whistle. When it's used colloquially, it usually means a conservative voting Christian. And unlike the word fundy, evangelical is kind of a badge of honor for them, so they like to be called that. Fundy is considered derogatory now, which I think is hilarious, because once again, they also named themselves fundamentalists, but I digress. A fundamentalist would not be caught dead wearing the type of clothes that Brittany wears, and they certainly would not be kissing their boyfriend before marriage. So, for the conversation that we're having in this episode, I really don't think it matters. I just wanted to let you know that there is a difference, and all of this demon stuff leads me to this video that I am dying to discuss with you.
If you don't already know, Lady Gaga is tied into witchcraft. I am going to try to put some information here on the screen as I talk, sharing this and stating this and just showing you guys the facts. If you dig even just an inch deep, you will find this. It's out there. Like, it's not trying to be hidden. It's not trying to be, you know, like debunked or anything. Like, she is proud of this. She has made this known.
Lady Gaga's a witch. Okay, what's she gonna do? Put a spell on you?
The performance that she put on yesterday was more than disturbing. It reminded me of Hunger Games from the get-go. And then on top of that, on top of her whole outfit, her whole getup, she was also wearing the Dove of Peace symbol, also in Hunger Games. Little disturbing.
I also love the comments that's like, Lady Gaga's wearing a dove and an olive branch, which is a symbol of peace, not a mockingjay, which is a different bird. I also found it hilarious that she's railing on Lady Gaga, but in this old post on her Instagram, she's actually defending her from the haters who are commenting on her body. So, real spirit of discernment there, huh?
Biden said that he is going to reverse any and all laws that were made or put into place against abortion when he gets in the White House. That he wants to do away with gender terms like niece, nephew, brother, sister, mother, father. I'm sorry. What? How are people not seeing these red flags?
Also, what the fuck is she talking about? Joe Biden getting rid of gendered terms? She's literally pulling that out of her ass. And if he could, he wouldn't anyway. He's too busy eating ice cream and bombing brown people.
But we live in this culture that is so sensitive and so easily offended by anything and everything, including a prayer now, that our government, who doesn't want to offend anyone, is now mixing and molding God's word for what they want it to be, instead of submitting to his authority of who he is and who he has always been.
And it just really grinds my gears when evangelicals like Brittany say shit like, people are so offended these days, while she's literally being offended by yoga. She's offended that Lady Gaga wore a dove pin. What leftists are actually offended by is stuff that really matters, like state-sanctioned police violence that your husband participates in. We're offended by employment and housing discrimination for queer and trans people. We're offended by a social safety net that leaves millions of disabled folks without the necessary protections and accommodations they need. We're offended by a lack of a functioning healthcare system and instead have one that leaves people dead in the street or alive with millions of dollars of debt. We're offended that our reproductive rights are being ripped to shreds. We're offended with shit that has actual consequences like children in cages or the white supremacist school curriculum that we currently have. While evangelicals are offended by shit they made up like the fake war on Christmas or a free vaccine that's going to save their lives. Speaking of police brutality, it's time to talk about Mr. Brittany Dawn. Her new husband, his name is Jordan Nelson. He's basically this random new guy that she all of a sudden showed up with, and the reception for him has not been good. Nobody likes him. And also, fun fact, he used to date Terry Bradshaw, Bradshaw's daughter. So you can add that to the Fundy Friday cinematic universe, as Terry Bradshaw went to college with Phil Robertson. He's a real Chad-like, smarmy kind of dude, and he actually sells surgical equipment now, but Brittany calls him a doctor. So she also claimed that they weren't living together before marriage, despite his clothes being in her closet. And seeing as how he was still legally married to his ex-wife when he got engaged to her a few months ago, he probably needed a place to live, so it makes sense that he would cohabitate with her. I just don't see the point of lying. The big deal with him is that he was working as a police officer for the Kansas City Police Department, and in one incident, charged at, beat, and smashed a man's face into the concrete. I watched the dash cam footage, and Jordan literally comes out of nowhere and attacks this man who is just standing there with his hands behind his head. In no other civil service position are you allowed to just start wailing on people. But you know what they say, blue lives beat wives or whatever. I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. So while Brittany and Jordan live, laugh, and love together deep in the heart of Texas, he's originally from Kansas City. I bring that up because there's nothing more Kansas City than police brutality. Well, maybe barbecue sauce. And Tech 9. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, he beat a guy. And it gets worse. Jordan's so royally fucked up that he was fired from the police force, something that rarely happens, and he was sued by the ACLU. The case was then dismissed with prejudice in March of 2019, and both parties agreed to a settlement, and it never went to trial. And then Jordan had the audacity to have a protective order taken out on the man that he assaulted. So excuse me, Brittany, if I take into account your hubby's prior history of aggression and don't find it very funny when he interrupts and takes over your vlog to loudly kill flies with an electrified tennis racket. Oh yeah.
Okay, well, looks aren't everything. I think if you're going after looks, then like that could lead you down a really bad path if that's your first priority. What are we doing here?
I heard it. Yeah, sorry.
There's a fly in here, and he's determined to get it.
It's a zapper.
He's so proud of it. This is 30.
I see him. I see him.
Oh gosh. Oh yep. My god.
Yeah! Woo!
Babe, there's another one right here on the floor. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh.
Yeah! This is awesome!
Oh my.
Let's go! Pick the wrong house today! Is that thing still recording?
Yeah.
Oh no.
As we were saying.
That's YouTube gold right there. That's live action, y'all.
Oh my gosh. Sooner than later, Jordan and I, and you can.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I love you. And it went well. I knew,
like. Bugger.
I knew. Always makes me laugh.
Not on purpose either.
Y'all, I can't take this seriously.
I'm being serious.
He pursues my heart. He pursues my heart, and
this fly.
just like he pursues a fly, and I think that's it, babe.
Okay.
Oh, we got more flies. So that concludes our Ask Us questions about dating, godly dating video. I now have a fly graveyard in my house.
Go get y'all some Dr. Pepper zero sugar.
But in a way, Jordan is actually perfect for Brittany. He clearly has a type. I mean, his ex-wife looks just like her. It's time we talk about their proposal, because it was very awkward.
Coffee for you.
Hey babe, don't freak out. I'm on my way. I just had a couple of things I wanted to share with you that have been on my heart.
I can't even begin to tell you what a blessing you are. The last year has been filled with mountaintop highs and valley lows. But one constant throughout that time has been you. I cannot even begin to tell you how thankful I am for you. I'm honored every single day to be the man that you've chosen to love. The unique thing about you and what I love the most is that you drive me to want to be a better man on a daily basis. You are my rock, my hope for the future. Your heart to lead women with your ministry is one of my favorite things about you. So by now, you haven't had one sip of your coffee. It's getting cold. And I guarantee you, I know you so well, and you can't sit still. You're fidgeting, playing with your hair, and probably playing with your dress. All I wanted to do is say I love you with all of my heart. And I have one question for you.
You already have one. I don't need this, I guess. Brittany Dawn. You make me the luckiest man in the world forever. Will you marry me?
Another standout instance of Jordan being too much was when he attended Brittany's all-woman spiritual retreat, She Lives Freed, which I was told are even considered expensive for Fundy standards. Like, this shit was $700. Yeah, $700 and you get the chance to be baptized in some tan woman's bathtub by her creepy boyfriend. For $700, you better baptize me and throw in a PS5 and Far Cry 6. $700? Are you kidding me? By the way, having Jordan at a all-woman's retreat just screams, "Can my boyfriend come too?" energy. No, he can't. I specifically paid for him to not be there. These two lovebirds got married last month, actually, and although Brittany hasn't uploaded a video about it yet, we've seen plenty of pictures. Overall, it was cute. The feet washing was a little weird, but you know what was even weirder was the wedding theme. So according to the venue, the wedding theme was modern Mexican. But you know what's even funnier is that this venue, real name Lazy S Hacienda, I know, they actually offer mariachi bands to play at your event. But sadly, Brittany and Jordan chose to opt out of the mariachi band. I guess it might have been a little too modern Mexican for them. I don't know. There are a few other mild scandals. I could not find a lot about this, so I did rely on Reddit for this. But Brittany and Jordan are involved in this thing called the Shield Foundation, and it is another scam, basically. It's one of these sex trafficking fundraising organizations that don't actually help anybody. In fact, they use testimonials from people who aren't even affiliated with them. And as you know, Brittany is affiliated with the Save the Children hashtag, which sounds like it would be a good thing, right? Well, it's actually a QAnon thing. Really, they believe in, you know, that Satan and people are drinking the baby blood and all that shit. So definitely read the fine print whenever anybody mentions organizations like this. But anyways, the Shield Foundation, it's a bunch of Chads cosplaying as Navy SEALs, and they like to feel important. I know that sounds crazy if you're not an American, but here, literally any half-assed group of white dudes in tack gear is allowed to play Rambo with live ammo. They just are. And if you would like to know about some more fucked up organizations, look up Operation Underground Railroad and you'll see. I will leave it at that because it is very complicated and I don't know all the information and I don't want to give you any false information, so. This is just a quick little editing note. I had a whole section about how Brittany and Jordan treated this unhoused man that they picked up, but I made a rookie mistake and I didn't even look at the Instagram stories that she made about him. I was just going off of secondhand reports, and it's way worse than how I had described. So let me just tell you what I saw through the Instagram stories, which is really disturbing. Like, they exploited the shit out of this man. I am going to show you because, you know, I thought about it for a long time. Like, am I going to show his face? Because then I'm doing the exact same thing they are. But I think the damage is done at this point. And I really need you to understand how exploitation looks, I guess.
A little update on James. Our team is currently locating him. We, in less than 10 hours, hit our goal. We hit our goal of $5,000 to raise money for this man. I'm going to try not to get emotional. This money is going to change his life. Like, it's so beautiful how God is so strategic and knows exactly what he's doing. If crews our friend Cruz hadn't have left the building and saw him walk out, if he wouldn't have gotten that photo with him, if he wouldn't have told Jordan about this, if Jordan wouldn't have told me over dinner, I wouldn't have been able to use my platform to bless this man's life, to change this man's life. And I just want to thank every single person that has donated. We are going to be documenting it. We're getting a hold of him today, of James today. Jordan is actually right now, sorry you guys, it cut off. But as I was saying, Jordan is actually out right now with the guys looking for him, and they're going to find him. They're going to find him. And we're going to begin to build just a relationship with him. And he has no idea. He has no idea what we're about to bless him with. And God is so good. God is so good. This man showed up at church yesterday just to tithe 15 cents. 15 cents. Like, yeah, he is Jehovah Jireh. He is our provider, and you guys are blessing him so much. We're going to build a relationship with him, get him back on his feet, help him find a job, help him get a car, whatever we can do to get him back on his feet. And the Lord has really shown me in just the last, like, not even 24 hours yet, that this is what I want my platform to be.
Yo, we found James!
Oh man!
Yo!
4 hours, or what, 2.5 hours later.
Oh my God, look who we found.
James!
James! What's up, dude?
Hey, we're gonna talk to you for a second?
Yeah, please, I was walking
yeah.
right now.
Remember me from yesterday?
Yeah, I was walking to that church right now. You guys were Bible.
Whoa!
We'll get you a bike.
Let's park right here.
Yeah, we're gonna pull right here, okay?
Cool.
All right, y'all. Got James hooked up with a comfy bed. He's in the shower right now. We got him a new Bible, a composition notebook so he can journal. So I want to respect James and his privacy, but I don't know if y'all can hear this, but he's literally praying and just full of joy while he's in the shower.
Little update on James. We just took him In-N-Out Burger, and he was so thankful. He's so grateful. He's just the sweetest soul. Like, he really genuinely is. He's so sweet and so kind, and he loves the Lord. He asked us before we left if we could have a Bible study at some point today. So we're going to sit down and just love on him and just praise the Lord with him. And just love on him like brothers and sisters in Christ. I just checked, and the updated amount for James' GoFundMe, which he will receive every single penny that is donated, is $11,500. We started with a goal of $5,000 and we surpassed that in 10 hours. I am just like, we're just, as a team, like, we're blown away by your generosity and everyone that's donated, whether it's been $1 or a $500 donation, which someone made last night. It's just been amazing. God is so faithful and God is so good. And yeah, this is going to change his life. Point now where we have connected with his family. We've talked to his parents. We just had a phone call with his mom. And we are looking for a Christian-based rehab facility for him. He needs rehab of some sort, which is expected in this situation. And so right now we're just trying to get in touch with a Christian-based organization or rehab of some sort. I don't even know like the right wordage for that. So I'm believing that the Lord is going to lead someone to us through this video or just through James' story, that if you know anyone that has these connections, please reach out to us. Little update on James. I know y'all can't really see me right now, but I'm pulling into Walmart. Jordan and Cruz are here with him right now. They left, or Jordan left after the Freedom Shield meeting to go check on him, and they're here at Walmart, so I'm stopping in to say hi because I miss James. He's like a brother to me now. Say hi, James.
Don't hit it.
Bolted, and unfortunately with this, like, you cannot make these decisions for him. We can't force him to get on this plane. We can't force him to go to rehab discipleship program. So yeah,
They have. I know Fort Worth has those. I think we're in Fort Worth.
Yeah, we are.
I know Fort Worth has a crisis intervention team officer, and it might just take, I mean, if I can, and then by the time we got here this morning to, you know, get ready for the airport and to help him pack and all that stuff, and he's like, I don't want to go to.
It is Friday night, and I'm documenting all of this, and I'm probably not going to post in real time, but we got James a flight. He's going to Ohio tomorrow, and that moment of breakthrough, I have a cough drop, sorry you guys. That moment of breakthrough, God is so good.
There you go.
He pursues my heart, and just like he pursues a fly, like he is so diligent. Hey, that word is from James. Diligence. We miss James. He's doing great. Just throwing that out there.
All of this pales in comparison to the most recent scandal to come out of Brit's twisted world. Last month, Brittany confessed to YouTube that she and Jordan came home to find her dog had been hit by a car and was laying injured in the street. Then she went inside and, seemingly of his own idea, Jordan shot the dog.
Came home after we got the stuff we needed at Lowe's, and turned to the corner onto our street, and I thought I saw Brody the closer we got to our driveway, but I was like, that's weird, like why would he be at no? And then I realized it was Brody, and I realized he wasn't moving and he wasn't standing, and so I jumped out of the truck, and Jordan didn't even have a chance to realize what was going on, and I just jumped and bailed out of his truck and started running towards Brody, and like I just wish I could unsee what I had to see. He got hit so hard, and there was no saving him. It was so bad. Jordan chased me. He parked his car and chased me and just grabbed me before I collapsed on the ground, and then took me inside, and I just missed Brody. He was still breathing, and poor Jordan, like he had to rush me inside while the other two men watched and made sure no one else came. And once I was inside, like all I heard, I knew what was about to happen, and Jordan, like all I heard was this truck rev its engine so loud from the bedroom I could hear it, and I know that's when the gunshot went off, and poor Jordan had to do that for Brody so that he wouldn't suffer, and there was no saving him. It was so bad, and I'm just so like angry. Like I'm so angry how someone could be so cruel. Accidents happen, but a hit and a run, like no stopping, no anything, and I'm just, that dog was with me through so much. Jordan had to step into a role of protecting me, but also helping Brody the best that he could, and having to see that. And he was taking it really hard last night too. Like we just wept on my bed, on our bed now. We just wept together, and it's been really hard. So just a reminder to hug your dogs and love them, because we do not deserve the love that they have to give us.
She's got to know that this isn't an Old Yeller situation. Like, they had every resource available. You have to take your dog to the vet. Even if they can't be saved, they can still be properly euthanized. All these options are still better than letting them be shot in the street. And I'm not gonna dox her. She's done that plenty of times herself because she likes to take photos and videos in front of her house numbers. But some snarkers found her address and did some digging and found out that she was only 4 minutes from 2 emergency vets. And this was during the day, not even after hours. She could have even went to the regular vet. And the ultimate irony in all of this is that it's actually illegal to shoot your dog in Texas. So Jordan, the ex-cop, was once again breaking the law because he just found the violent option way too difficult to resist. And unfortunately, this is not the only time that animals have been mishandled by Brittany. She has a mini dachshund, which is still alive and doing fine, which is great because dachshunds should be treated with the utmost love. They should be exalted above all others and put on merch. But she also had a pit bull that she rehomed because he needed a more active lifestyle.
Time for a major life update. First things first, I want to talk about my pit bull that I had. This is something that I decided not to talk about for a while just because I was personally still trying to heal from the decision that I had to make. And it just crushed me. It literally shattered my heart. I had to make the decision to rehome my pit bull because he needed a bigger place to live in. He needed a yard to run in. He was very energetic, more than the average pit bull. He needed a yard to run in. He needed a bigger home. He just needed a bigger space. His trainer even brought it to my attention that it was in his best interest to get rehomed somewhere that he could have a more active lifestyle. Like I said, that was the toughest decision that I've ever personally had to make. I got little Brody about 6 months after because my heart was just shattered and I needed a buddy. Coco is like a cat basically, so I wanted someone that could be my little pal, be my little friend, and Brody has done just that. He was the best little decision that I ever made.
You're a fitness influencer. A more active lifestyle? Take your dog on a fucking walk! What? You could even film it and monetize it. What was the point of this? And the other thing is, so Brittany likes to pretend to be a country girl, horse enthusiast, but actually she ended up abandoning her horse at a ranch and expected the attendants to take care of him. And they were nice people and they weren't going to let a horse suffer, so they took care of him. Then Brittany tried to badly review the stable that her horse was at by posting before and after pictures of her horse's health and then flipping them. But thankfully, the owner of the stable roasted her ass. God, I love the internet. My horse was removed from this facility due to lack of care and malnourishment. I'm thankful that I got him out when I did. I would not recommend McKinney Horseplex for the well-being of your horse. Dear Brittany, I appreciate all reviews of our facility, even those I might not necessarily agree with. To be clear to the public reading this, your horse Harley was at our facility for 7 months during 2018. You were late on board once. In 2019, out of 12 months on board, you were late 9 times. Requiring multiple calls and text messages for payment. In 2020, you were late 5 out of 5 months, and you threatened if I made you pay your final payment, you would write a bad review on Yelp and Google. I think it is important that people know that the healthy picture of Harley was actually taken after he was at our facility for about a year, and was taken maybe one of the maybe 5 times that you visited in the entire time he was boarded with us. The after pictures were taken after he had been sick for weeks with a draining wound, and you would not have a vet come out, nor did you come to see him yourself. McKinney Horseplex actually stepped up and paid the vet in advance to get your horse medical care. At this point, you still had not paid your prior year's vet bill. And as you were an absent owner, several of us took Harley over, mainly Jennifer and I. We loved Harley and did the best we could, up to and including all of his care when he was sick, paying the vet so he could come out, etc. Anyone who wants to find out more about Brittany, Harley's owner, just needs to do a little research on Google. Brittany Dawn Fitness. Best of luck to anyone in finding a facility that is the right fit. Well, damn. In conclusion, I don't think this is the last that we've seen of Brittany Dawn, or B-Dong as the Fundy Snarkers like to call her. Is that immature? I mean, we never make dick jokes on this channel. I don't know or care, quite frankly, if her Christianity is genuine, but I'm sure it says something somewhere in the Bible that it's not nice to scam people, or bully others, or lie, or kill. But what do I know? I'm just an overweight, sexually broken loser. Brittany's entire channel/career could have been an email, which could have been nothing. She contributes nothing positive to the public consciousness or to any discussions, really. And scandals aside, the quality of her vlogs are unwatchable. She'll have a whole, uninterrupted 45 seconds of her loudly vacuuming or blending smoothies really loudly, or filming her picking up her keys or her feet while she's walking. But you know what? I tend to expect that most of her audience are probably watching her videos muted while on the toilet, so...
So if you're interested, you can go check it out.
What I'm trying to say is that it's boring. I mean, at least Bethy is out here embarrassing herself and her family with the whole sharing a toothbrush thing. What are you doing to entertain me? Brittany's content seems like it was made by somebody who just assumed that they could put out anything and the fame would shortly follow after. She never makes any effort to make things interesting, and it seems like she almost goes out of her way to show the boring parts of her life. But once again, Brittany has fucked up and she put her entire fitness career into jeopardy. She made a snap decision and pivoted hard into the Christian influencer character. And make no mistake, that's what this is, a character. Her approach to God and faith is just as flippant and disinteresting as her approach to everything else she engages with. But at this point, I think she's stuck with it. The life of a Christian influencer can be described as high floor, low ceiling. You'll always have a significant number of built-in Christian followers, but once you hit that peak, you can't really do anything else. And in the meantime, in order to keep that audience, you're going to have to keep up with their strict judgmental ideals, which sounds like hell to me. Brittany has doubled down by finding a husband that her new conservative fan base will approve of, by which I mean he's a violent, entitled man-child. And as bad as that sounds, I don't feel any sympathy for Brittany Dawn. She chose to spew hate and lunacy as a means of continuing her desperate pursuit of fame, so I don't pity her when she has to face the backlash. God forgives you, Brittany, but we don't. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I cut out a lot of shit. I had like this whole like police brutality rant that went on for like 2 pages. That might just be a little too spicy for everybody. I don't know. If you enjoyed this video, remember to consensually smash that like and subscribe button. I have plenty of merch available, including Idle Hands Are the Devil's Fleshlights, Limp Bizkit University, Fungi Fridays, God Loves You in a Gay Way, and of course the Fundy Fridays logo with my lovely son on there. Monday, November 15th, I am turning off the Discord invites for a few weeks because we gotta get things settled down because Josh Duggar's trial is November 30th. That's all I'm going to say to that. If you want to join the Discord, go ahead and do it right now. The link is on my Instagram and my Patreon. I love you guys. I have the best fans in the entire world, and I will fight anybody who says that you're not the best. Okay? I've had an amazing week. I hope you guys are too. I hope that you get everything you've ever wanted and all your dreams come true, and I hope God blesses you and your family, and have a wonderful weekend. Overweight! Ooh! Mom, Dad, I'm fat.